Welcome back to part two of the Summit Market Awareness Preparing Your Business to Sell More this season. In the last episode, we talked about you going out there and popping out on all the events this summer. Now, let's get you prepared. This video today, we're going to be discussing build your vendor setup. In this presentation today, we're going to go through all of the items that you're going to need to have as a vendor as you go through these different events. I hope you downloaded the workbook because you're going to need your workbook throughout these different things so you can start planning and budgeting all your things. Build your vendor setup is one of the most important things you're going to need in order to have a successful event and tabling. As you get ready, we're going to be discussing what you sell, who you help, your brand style, and why they should stop. So let's get started. First things first, the number one thing that you need to remember about your vendor setup is you want your table to look professional. So some of the items that you're going to need, we're going to discuss in this video: tablecloths, tents, banners, signage, branded bags, rolling suitcase, lighting, tables, QR codes, pricing sheets. All of these things need to basically cover what your brand does, what you sell, and who you help. And it should speak to your creativity. So what we're going to do today is discuss ways that you can get these things done. Now, don't wait until the last minute. Summer is a huge time in the industry where a lot of printers and places are going to be very busy. Now, I do love supporting small businesses, but if you're in a time crunch, I'm going to show you a way that you can use a commercial printer where you're able to set up an account, get your product shipped fast, as well as they have rush delivery options available. But you're always welcome to go to Etsy or use your local vendor in your community to support them as well. But if you are in a crunch, you do need to be planning ahead, because no matter if you use the one I talk about today or someone that you know, planning is going to be key. Use the workbook that I gave you where you're able to plan out what events that you need to do, what objects and things that you're going to sell, as well as the timeline that you need to get all the things that you need created, whether that be shipping times, your product production times, all of those things you need to plan ahead. Design usually 1 to 2 weeks. You can use printing 2 to 4 weeks, and then produce and shipping. It depends, and you still have that rush delivery. So take your time to really map out and ask each vendor that you're getting your products from, what is their timeline for deliverables and how you can order more supplies. It's better to be prepared and be able to use it all year than to only be prepared for one. So always look at the best quantity and make sure you're using your budget, which you can find in our workbook, and you can work out all the specs when it comes to the budget. But today we're going to be discussing one of my favorite places that I send a lot of my clients who are in a time crunch, or they just like to have a more professional way of getting their products uploaded, which is U-printing. I love U-printing because it gives you a chance to, one, get commercial printing. You can create an account. You can add all of your designs and different products that you want to sell at your table. Furthermore, it gives you that professional branded look that we're looking for. Also, what I love about U-printing is you're also able to upload your designs, whether that be from a different graphic design or they have an in-house graphic designer. It's usually about $50 depending on what kind of product. So, but definitely reach out to their customer service so you're able to do that. So let's take a dive deep into U-printing and why I selected it as our main vendor to help us get our branded product. Once you create an account with U-printing, you're going to get taken to their dashboard where you're able to see everything they can help create for your brand. One thing I love about this is not only can you create your own account, but you can upload all of your designs as well. So definitely take your time, come through here and see what items you want to sell. Now, this video, we're going to focus on a certain area called trade shows, which you can find in the featured collection. And you can go over to trade shows and events. Now, I love this section because it condenses their massive catalog of things that they can create for you, from top sellers to displays and stands, table displays, booth handouts, and promotional items and outdoor displays. Now, if you do not have a designer, what I also love about Printing is you're able to use their dedicated design team to create you some things. But you can also go back here and you can upload some of your own designs, or you can have your personal designer add some things. Now on here, you have a ton of different things that you can choose from business cards to retractable banners. You want to think of the type of event that you're going to be, how much space you're going to get as you are a table there, as well as you want to think about that setup and tear down time. It's really important to make sure you're able to pack all of these things into a suitcase, a couple of different things, so you can easily get to the fairgrounds and move around. Later on in the video, I got some things that you can get on Amazon to help you with making sure you get all of your equipment. Having a packing list as well will be part of our workbook. Furthermore, we also have in the workbook where you can write out all the products that you need to get created as well, so then you can create your setup. So once you figure out what you want to get done, you can come back here. So let's say you want to do a tablecloth. You click Learn More. You can come on here and you can see all the different ways that you can style it, the different sizes that you can choose from, which is amazing. Depending on the type of events that you're doing, typically you're going to get a 6 to 8 foot type of table. So you want to prepare for both. Now, you also get a display of what kind. You can do the one that's loose fitting or one that's more form fitting, but definitely take a look at what you're going to look like in the table. I always like designing things inside of Canva or using Pinterest as a way to do that. And I'll show you some other tutorials about how you can use some inspiration to help you create that setup. But once you have created that setup, you want to jump over here and start buying your product. Now, furthermore, you also have a description of what the product is about. You can look at the reviews. They also have templates for your designers. This makes it even better. Now, one thing to remember when you're getting anything printed, you want to have the AI file at least, especially when it comes to your logos or making any sort of prints that have to do with stretching out your original design. This is key for that AI. The Adobe Photoshop is going to be perfect for these type of scenarios. Also, you want to consider making sure that anybody that gives you any design, that they're doing it in the print format CMYK. That's going to give you the best printer quality, and it's not going to stretch or piculate your design. Now, another cool thing that I like about Printing is you can also get a proof for free, which takes about a couple hours, sometimes the next day, before you actually place your order. You can buy now and upload later. You can get your estimated shipping and delivery based on where you are. Also, you can do the number of quantities that you would like to do, as well as you get your printing costs, which is pretty cool. You can share your product. You can grab that link. What I usually do is not only inside of my account do I add it to my account, I also add it to the workbook sheet that talks about all the products that helps my brand and business, how much it's going to cost, what it's going to be as far as the printing time, so then I'm able to adjust that if I need more of that particular product. Some of the additional things that we can also consider on your table is you might want to consider, let's see, some business cards. So if you check out the cards, what I also love about Printing is they have tons of different designs. You don't have to go with like a standard business card. They have some chrome ones. They have some ones that you can actually fill them, like the velvet ones, which I love. They have some metallic metal ones. So get creative, even the different cuts and stuff. So take your time to go through and see how you would like your branding. Now, the cool thing about Printing is they do also offer a free print sample pack. Now, this takes a couple of days to get here, where you're able to get different swatches and stuff, fill different grades. But as long as you're doing a 16 and up, you should be pretty good. But you should read the reviews and things like that. But you can order your kit, and it's just called Free Sample Kit, and you can just search that right there. Now that you got, let's say, a business card, the more that you buy, the merrier. So let's look at these velvet ones. You want to look at the different designs to make sure your designs are matching what you're looking for. as well as if you want things printed on the front and back. So definitely go from top to bottom of what you're going to look like. It's going to show you some of that over here. You can also put some additional add-ons on here if you want rounded corners, as well as your quantity. Now you can get higher levels, which you can get 5,000 for $338. That's not bad. And then a 6-day turnaround. I love that. So definitely look at all of the pictures and things that they have. They even give you a chance to look at what the thickness of the different types of cards that they have in this particular brand. So definitely check that out. You also get to look at what it looks like in your hand when you're handing it to somebody. Now, you can also do digital ones as well, but you always want to have a card just in case somebody doesn't have their phone. Definitely check out all of the dimensions, and you can always hit up their chat. You can look at all the customers and see, as well as you have the different design files that you can choose from. Furthermore, also what I like about this one is you can get things rush delivered. So if you are needing something in particular for it, you can get it done and get it to you as fast as possible. I think the turnaround time is like 2-3 days versus 2-3 weeks, especially when you start getting into some of those higher quantity types of things. So take your time, go through here, think of ways that you can be creative and all of that. And some additional equipment that you might want to consider is ways that you can actually get all your products over to the event and the table setup. Now, I love Amazon. You can feel free to go to your local Ross, Target, any place where you would like to get it, but I love Amazon, so that's what this video is going to be about. So you want to think about how much product you need to sell, different ways that you need to pack it. I love a good suitcase that has rollers on it, maybe even a set. They do have some for trade shows, so definitely look at all of that as well. Just in case the venue, you have to move everything inside, you want to quickly get your equipment in there. Some other things that you might want to consider looking at on Amazon is your product displays. You want to have things that really showcase, that are unique. You might not want to do the plastic ones, so definitely take your time. Look at different ways to advertise your products, whether it's hanging there as well as the setup. So you want to prepare to do that. My suggestion would be is, again, using Pinterest as a way to first look at what you want to buy, how you would like your setup, and then create like a virtual display of it using Canva, and then put all the products that you plan on getting in there and seeing how you want the table. And once you get all your products, practice taking it up and down, making sure you're able to set everything up, see if you need to put some screws in, and then figuring out how you're going to get it there through suitcases and things of that nature. So get creative there. Another thing you might want to consider for your table is some games. Yes, people love to stop and have an experience. So you can create that by doing different games, having scratch tickets. They're able to maybe put a pie in someone's face. So get really creative. You can search these by games, as well as you want to see where this needs to be in your space and your setup. A few other items that I got in my cart. In my shopping cart, I started with some smart NFC and QR code stands for my digital business card. My social media can be added in there, and there's no monthly fee. I just grab the card and they're able to tap once and get all the things that connect to me. So you might want to consider that. Also, you can consider some other NFC ones that just, can do that. Leaving a review on your Google, which you can also do by just going to Google, and then once you're in your profile that has it, you can grab your link, you can grab the QR code, so then you have that. That's another way to not only increase sales, but you can offer discounts at your table for leaving you a review. You're able to check that right there. Also, you want to consider, if you're taking cash, a way that you can check to make sure it's not counterfeit money. You might want to consider a portable charger, depending on if they have plugs or don't. These are definitely questions you want to ask the venue when you're setting up, if this is your first time. But having those backups are going to be important, especially if you have volunteers. You don't want to be in the middle of a sale and your phone goes dead or your iPad goes dead. So think about that as well. Of course, your suitcases, some other ways to carry your products and stuff. Have a pack list as well, which you can also use my workbook where you can sit down and write out all the things that you need to pack in each of those bags and what goes in what, and then maybe tape it to the back of it. So then when you're packing your stuff up, you know which bag goes with where. You can quickly tear down and set up. Another thing that I put on there is you might need a heavy duty foldable dolly. This is great for those who have bigger setups that might need different things and you don't want to necessarily carry everything and you want to just drag it up. Or you can put a wagon. Nothing wrong with a wagon. Haven't been in a red wagon since I was a kid, but it would be nice to be able to have something that can lift things around, especially if we don't have a handy dandy man around. We definitely want to have those with us. Another thing is, this is a huge thing that most people do not consider until they get to an event, is do you have Wi-Fi as part of what we're doing? The last thing you want to do is to not have Wi-Fi connected or have to pay for that particular spot. So bring your Wi-Fi. So you're always to make sure you have a hotspot. Some have plans, and you might not be able to do that on your phone. Now, definitely make sure you're budgeting these things, have some extension cords, have some backup tape and things like that, as well as a petty cash. Yes, ways that you can give people back some cash and things like that. So get creative in all of those places. Now, before you get over here, I did go over to Pinterest, and Pinterest is a inspiration on all these different types of setups, displays, and things. So before you go buy, make sure you look at some things and really map out what you want and how you want your brand to stand out. Then pick items, try to find the best quality so then you're able to use it over and over again. Some things you can put in Pinterest is trade show table displays. You can put in just table displays, vendor booth displays. All those will give you different opportunities to look at other people, other creators, what it's going to look like with your spaces. If you need some additional tables, if it's going to be outside, you might want to have a canopy that's branded. So definitely go back to you printing for that type of stuff, but also figure out ways that you can maybe bring some music in. So take your time in all of these things. Lastly, I want to jump into getting a digital business card. Now, I love Hi Hello because Hi Hello gives you a chance to quickly tap and get people interested in what you have going on. Not only do you get their contact information, but they get everything about your brand and business. They have free account, they have paid accounts. The paid accounts, I think you can put videos on there where you can sell and market more. But you can start for free. You can create different profiles and things like that. And you can really target it people who just love that digital experience, as well as you can also do a link tree. Now, I prefer to use my website as I am a web developer, and I always tell people it's always great to send people directly to your website. So creating a back-ended landing page and putting all the links for your business is great, but you can also utilize Linktree as a way for people to connect with you and keep the conversation going. This can also help with getting them to do discounts. You can put your reviews and things like that and your NFT tag. What I want to do is make sure that you are working through your workbook before you plan anything. Before you buy anything, know your numbers are going to be important. Your KPIs are really key in making sure that you stay on budget, you make a profit, as well as you're able to scale your business and make those connections. And always support others while you're out here at these events. As we wrap up today's video, I want you to take a look at your workbook, the Summer Market Awareness Planner, where you're able to plan all of these things out. You're able to do event I need to set up for, so you can look at what event you want to be at, the equipment and setups inside of there, your vendor event packing list, your product inventory planning list, your vendor budget tracking, your pricing menus, and so much more. So definitely click that link, download your copy, and start planning today. And remember to always include what you sell, who you help, your brand style, and why they should stop at your business. Have an amazing time shopping and stay in budget, and make sure you get you some quality and always check timelines. Can't wait to see you in the next video where we're going to be discussing how to get prepared for the event, ways to increase your awareness while you're at the table, get people to actually stop and talk to you, as well as ways that you can make sure you're able to get your payment and things as well. So stay tuned for that video. And if you have not, what are you waiting for? You need to join the Eagles Academy. The one and only Dr. Eddie Connor is taking us behind the scenes of all types of topics that have to do with ideas, impact, influence, and increasing your income. We meet every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Click the link in this particular video so you're able to get into class and you can have all types of conversations with us where we're inspiring other entrepreneurs and Eagles such as yourself and getting them to move outside of their comfort zone. So definitely check out the Eagles Academy. Until next time, happy planning for your table. Bye.